When was the last time you made a new friend without using an app? 100 years ago, people had churches, clubs, barbershops, town squares, and local cafes. You'd go there and you'd see the same people over and over. You'd recognize faces. You'd have conversations that weren't scheduled. You'd belong to something just by showing up. Today, many of us have a couch, a phone, and a subscription to Netflix. Somewhere along the way, the places that brought people together quietly disappeared, and we're calling it loneliness. But that's not quite accurate. What we're experiencing is the absence of structure, the removal of the environments where friendship used to happen naturally. This is what sociologists call the death of third places, and it's the real reason why making friends became so hard. Let me explain what a third place actually is. First place is home. That's where your family is, your private life. Second place is work or school. That's where you're obligated to be, where your productivity is measured. Third place is everything in between, the places that aren't home and aren't work, the places where community forms, where strangers become acquaintances, where acquaintances become friends. Third places used to be everywhere. The local cafe where you'd see the same people every morning, the barber shop where you'd wait and chat with other customers, the church or mosque where you'd gather weekly, the town square where people would congregate, the library where students would study side by side, sports clubs, gyms, parks where neighbors would walk, markets where you'd run into people you knew. These weren't fancy. They weren't designed to be social experiences. They were just places where people had to be anyway, and while they were there, they became social. That's the key thing about third places. They don't rely on you deciding to be social. They just happen when you show up for some other reason. You go to the cafe for coffee and end up talking to the barista. You go to the barber shop for a haircut and chat with the guy in the chair next to you. You go to church for the service and socialize before and after. The social part was a side effect of being there, which meant it was low pressure. You didn't have to commit to a friendship. You just had to show up. Now, third places are disappearing, and it's not random, it's structural. Start with urbanization and sprawl. 100 years ago, most communities were small and walkable. You could walk to the market, you could walk to the cafe, you could walk to the park. Everything was within distance. Then we built suburbs. Cars became the default. Everything spread out. Now going anywhere requires planning, requires travel time, requires commitment. Going to a cafe isn't casual anymore, it's a destination. And when it's a destination, fewer people go. Add car dependency. When you drive everywhere, you don't see your neighbors. You drive in, you drive out, you don't encounter people on the street. You don't have those micro interactions that used to build community. You're isolated in your vehicle. Then came longer work hours. Most people work more than they used to. And when you work more, you have less time for third places. You have less time to go to the cafe or the park or the club. You have less time to be a member of anything. Then came remote work, which is even more isolating than being in an office. You're working at home. That's not first place anymore. That's not second place, that's just first place. You're in your house all day. You don't commute, you don't see colleagues, you don't bump into people. Then came online entertainment, Netflix, streaming services, games, social media. When the entertainment is good enough that you can have an entire social and entertainment life without leaving your house, why would you go out? Then came rising housing costs. In many cities, housing is so expensive that people have to work longer hours to afford a place to live. Less time for community, less ability to afford to spend time in third places because you're focused on affording a place to live in the first place. Then came social media, which promised to replace third places. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. They said, you don't need to go to the town square. Here's a digital town square. You don't need to go to the cafe. Here's a virtual cafe. You don't need to join a club. Here's an online community. And we believed them. So we stopped going to third places. We got our community online. We got our social interaction from screens. And it was easier and more convenient than going out. But something was missing. Because online interaction isn't the same as in-person interaction. You don't feel the same sense of belonging. You don't have the same spontaneous conversations. You don't make the same quality of friendships. So we call it loneliness. But what we're actually experiencing is the structural removal of the environments where friendship was supposed to happen. Now here's where it gets interesting, because this didn't happen by accident. And I'm not saying anyone planned it, but the incentives are clear. If people spend more time at home instead of in third places, entire industries benefit. Streaming services benefit, food delivery benefits, online shopping benefits, gaming benefits, AI companions benefit, every subscription service benefits. These companies aren't evil, they're just filling a market. If people want entertainment at home instead of going out, companies will provide that. If people want food delivered instead of going to a restaurant, companies will provide that. If people want AI friends instead of real friends, companies will provide that. The problem is that the incentives are completely aligned with keeping people at home, alone, consuming. And as more people stay home, as third places continue to close because there's no demand, the loneliness increases, which increases the demand for digital solutions to loneliness, which keeps people at home, which keeps third places closed. It's a feedback loop. Meanwhile, the psychological cost is mounting. When you don't have third places, you don't have spontaneous social interaction. You don't have casual friendships. You have to schedule everything. You have to use an app to meet people. You have to be intentional about community. And when friendship becomes intentional, it becomes harder. Because intention requires vulnerability. It requires you to decide that you want to be someone's friend and reach out. It requires risk. It requires the other person to also be intentional about wanting to be your friend. Casual friendships don't require that. You just showed up to the same place over and over. You talked. You became friends without ever deciding to be friends. So now we have fewer casual friendships. We have fewer weak ties. We have fewer acquaintances. We have more scheduled friendships that require intention and commitment. And that's exhausting. So many people are lonely not because they don't want friends, but because friendship now requires a level of commitment and intention that most people don't have the energy for. The other thing that happens is you lose spontaneous conversation. You lose the ability to talk to strangers. You lose the skill of casual interaction because most of your interaction is now online or scheduled. And that has a psychological cost. Humans need to be around their humans, not just digitally, physically, in the same space. That's where real belonging comes from. When you remove that, when you remove third places, you remove the environment where people were designed to find belonging. The answer isn't another app. The answer isn't a better digital solution to loneliness. The answer is rebuilding the places where humans were designed to meet each other in the first place. Not going back to how things were, not rejecting modern life, but being intentional about creating and using third places. Going to the cafe and staying for a while, going to the park and noticing people, joining a club or a class or a gym where you'll see the same people over and over. Creating the conditions for casual friendship, for spontaneous conversation, for belonging that doesn't require scheduling or intention, for the side effect of community that happens when you just show up. Because that's how humans actually work. We don't need more apps to connect us. We need more places to gather us.